Alrighty, hi you guys. Welcome to Yasmin Collects. Welcome back if you are a subscriber, and welcome if you are brand new to the channel. Here at Yasmin Collects, we do all kinds of different retro techie themed things, but I will say my bread and butter and my favorite thing to talk about and work on is definitely the good old video cassette recorder. And today we have a Mitsubishi HS-U545. This was a really cool find. I got this at one of my local thrift stores for $5.99, which, as a side note, I feel like thrift store prices have been so wacky lately. I bought a bunch of other things in addition to this Mitsubishi, and it's so funny to me that a VCR is $5.99, but a shower curtain that I got was $8.99. I just think thrift stores are out of their minds with some of this pricing lately. I don't really know if they're just getting too intelligent and know what people want, or what the situation is, but nevertheless, I do actually find quite a few VCRs at my local thrift. I'm pretty picky with what I grab because I already have numerous in my collection. I usually see a lot of Orions, Zeniths, really beat up ones that are super dirty. I even saw one the other day that had the entire door ripped off of it. So I don't usually like to pick up those projects. I save them for other people because they do often get picked up by other people who probably also know a thing or two about VCRs. So I like to save those for other collectors. I don't like to put in a lot of work, and although I haven't tested this one yet, it does appear to be in beautiful condition. If this is not your first video of mine, you already know I like to pick things that look rather pretty. I want them to look like they're doing well and have a good chance of survival. As I've already mentioned, this is a Mitsubishi, which is really kind of interesting because Mitsubishis now, for the most part, I mean, I feel like they're not really known for a lot of stuff, at least in the States anymore, but they're definitely most popularly known for their cars, at least here in the States where I live. I definitely wouldn't have figured that they manufactured VCRs, however, since this is something I do. So I already kind of knew that they did this. I know they've done other audio equipment and things like that. Kind of short-lived. I was gonna include a section on history, but honestly, I don't know that much, and I'm sure you guys in the comments will know more than me, but this is a really beautiful unit. It has this cute little, you know, VCR Plus logo, which I went over in a Panasonic VCR video, and look at this. Boop, and just pop it out, and it is a recorder, so you've got your why am I blanking? Your AV component. I always get component and composite confused. Red, white, yellow input. You know what I'm talking about for recording. You've got a record button here. This really sweet font. I love this kind of font. And as I'm gonna get into later on, I actually do not know what year this was manufactured, but based off of the reviews I could find online, which were from like 2002, I'm assuming this is like a late 90s, early 2000s model. It's got this really cool A400 precision engineered easy operation logo on the front, which is pretty cool. I also think we're gonna have some type of digital display here. It does also have hi-fi, which is awesome. We've got our pause, our record, our stop, our play, our rewind, and our fast forward. I did not get the remote for this unit, which is kind of a pain. I only have the remote for one of my VCRs, and then one of my CRTs is a combo unit, and the VCR is functional there, so I have the remote for that as well. I could probably find it online, but that's one of those things I never end up doing. So here is the back. I'm gonna try to move this power cable out of the way. And here you can see the manufacture date. It's not like a Panasonic where they have the year just put there in plain English. This one just says manufactured II7MEM. I have no idea what that means. Although with the serial number down here, serial number 018028M, maybe I'm thinking 02, manufactured in 2002, but the only reason why I'm thinking that is because of the online reviews. So if you guys know how to read these, I would absolutely love to know what year this one came out, when it was made. And we've got our back here. As you can see, it looks really good, right? Like there's a little bit of dust here that I'm gonna have to clean up, but besides that, there's really nothing about this unit that raises any alarm bells. You have your inputs back here and then coax as well. So typically I like to play with fire and test them before I open them up, but I don't know, for some reason I'm feeling a bit more calculated tonight, so I am going to get this bad boy opened up and we're gonna plug it in, see if it has life, and just kind of look at everything before we actually put in a test tape. We'll do a test tape and hopefully everything is in functional condition. Alrighty, we'll talk about easy access. There were only 2 screws that I needed to remove on each side and the panel easily slid off. Usually it requires more than that. Even with my 2008 VCR, that is literally the bare bones of VCRs, requires more effort than what this did, which honestly I'm not complaining because I'd rather it be easier to work on than harder. I'm just going to quickly share with you guys my kind of VCR repair master kit. I will show you guys what I usually keep on hand. So first of all, I have some M-Coat here in case some gears need lubricated. It's unlikely and this isn't usually a problem, but I still like to keep it around just in case. I also have some coffee filters for cleaning things that aren't the heads to make sure that we're not getting like little particles. I also do indeed have some Q-tips. I should get some better ones. I should get some, like, I don't know, electronic grade ones, because these are just like cosmetic Q-tips and they do kind of leave fluff, but I use them to apply the grease. If I've run out of my chamois or chamois, as you guys like to say, these are the MG Chemicals ones. I will leave them linked in my YouTube description box. I swear by these. These are the best thing that you can use to clean your VCR heads. They're just the best, and it's not an affiliate link. I don't make money off of it. I quite frankly don't have time to care about any of that, so it's just there for your convenience, and that's the same with any other link on my channel. I also have some 91% isopropyl alcohol. When you do this, you want to have the highest content possible so you're not getting a bunch of, you know, like, I don't know, like moisturizing components. You want it to just be straight alcohol if possible, and then paper towels just to avoid making a mess. So I wish I had some better lighting in here. I need to invest in some floodlights so I can see everything, because usually what I do is just pull up my phone here and take a peek. I already kind of noticed this before I've even looked at anything, and I'm just gonna zoom in here so you guys can see. Okay, here's part of the tape path right here. This is the pinch roller, and I don't know if you guys can see that. I hope you can. Looks really, really dusty. I'm just kind of like swiping my finger against it, and I'm getting a lot of dust. So we'll definitely want to clean it. It doesn't look like damaged or anything like that, but it does look pretty dirty. I'm also noticing a lot of like black grease here. I'm not really used to seeing that, but also, you know, maybe that's just something I'm not used to seeing. Let me move this over a bit so you guys can see. I know I said earlier that I thought this was a late 90s model, but looking at how basic the circuit board appears, I don't think that this is a late 90s model. I'm thinking this is probably a 2000s model, and another, like 2002 probably. And another reason why I think that is here we have another thing that I don't really love to see in a VCR. I wonder if you guys can guess what I'm talking about or what I'm looking at. It is that automatic head cleaner. This one, as you can see, is looking pretty grody. It's got like little black marks on it and things like that. So I definitely want to remove that. But I also, like, I think this is just for the automatic head cleaner, but I think I probably want to put in a test tape just to make sure that that's the case. I said earlier that I don't typically re-grease VCRs, but I don't know if you can see this yellow grease right here. It's looking pretty like it's hardened. Like it's got like a little bit of slip to it, but it looks pretty hardened, so I think I will probably remove that and put some new grease on it. It kind of looks like that throughout the unit. The grease is kind of like hardened around and might not work as properly or as good as it could have at one point. We also have the circuit board down here. I'm looking at the capacitors. They appear to be fine. I don't see any bulging or anything that would raise alarm bells. They look like perfectly fine capacitors to me. This is a really basic board though. I mean, let me zoom out. There really is not much to this guy. I'm confident that this unit is going to power on. Of course, we won't know that until we plug it in. This is the scariest part to me. I'm really cautious with electronics. I get nervous. If you, somebody should make a compilation of me just like jumping and yelling every time I plug something in. I'm like, oh, oh, I'm always so scared. Because you never know, and I don't want to burn the house down in the name of VCRs. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. So let me remove this wretched zip tie. You guys know I hate a zip tie. I hate a zip tie on a power cord. It is so irritating because it just strains the cord, and there's better ways to go about it. But I'm going to undo the zip tie. I'm going to plug it into a power strip, and we're going to test this one on my Memorex combo. This guy has just been the ride or die lately. I've been actually watching it to go to sleep, which I really didn't want to do with my other CRTs because, you know, I'm trying to preserve them, and what'll happen is I will fall asleep and I won't turn it off until like the middle of the night, sometimes even later. But this is a 2002 unit, so it's period accurate with this VCR if I'm correct on the date, and it barely has any hours on it. And as much as I love preserving retro tech, I also do want to actually enjoy it. So it's kind of been freeing to use this. I know on paper, you know, I should avoid doing that because, you know, putting too many hours on it. But also, like, I mean, if no one puts any hours on it, then what the heck? Like, am I going to actually enjoy it, or is it just kind of like a prop, you know? So, side note, that was just a random rant, but let me plug this in and I'll be right back. All right, I'm trying to figure out the best way to go about filming this since they aren't really next to each other. I think I'm gonna tilt this camera down so you guys can see the digital panel, and we'll see if we get some life. I'm gonna plug it into this power strip. Nothing looks damaged. It looks completely fine, so it's just me being my paranoid self. Ah, I'm scared. I'm scared. Oh, I did it. Do we have anything? Oh, it's so dim. It's very dim, but it's there. You guys see that? Oh, it's not even in the frame. Wow. It's so dim, like, that's interesting. I wonder if there's something going bad. I mean, I don't think this would be a vacuum tube display. Let me power it on though. Here it is. It's powered on. I don't know what all these displays mean, but it definitely doesn't look that that bright, at least not to me. But also it is kind of bright in here, and I feel like the standard for what bright means is a little bit skewed for this time period. So we definitely have a functioning VCR. I'm gonna power on my CRT and get my cables going. My cables. You should be careful doing this type of thing, like playing tapes on an open VCR. I don't think I have to say that to you guys, but you know, let's be cautious with live electronics. Now this CRT only supports, why am I blanking? Mono. It only supports mono, so the red one isn't going to get used, unfortunately, but it doesn't matter because we're just making sure that it's actually going to take the tape. For my test tape, I am using Walt Disney's The Parent Trap. This is one of my burner kind of tapes. I digitally archive almost everything that I own anyways. Not this one, because I really just don't care for this movie. And the tape is not in the best condition anyways, so I'm not super concerned, but I am going to keep this like this because I am also going to film some B-roll on my iPad so you guys can see the TV and the VCR at the same time. I'm hoping that it takes it, hoping there's no issues, but you never know. taking it. All right, I've got picture now. Let's hit play.
Walk on 4 legs is tackling a whole new ball game.
What's this?
Got a new wide receptor for you.
Now he's taking his team out of the doghouse and into the big time. Tail Club, golden receiver, rated G.
All right, so we're in good shape. I can't get a good shot of the picture on this particular CRT, but what I will say is that there's a little bit of fuzzies going on the screen, so we definitely need to do a head cleaning. Like I said, I would like to just do a little bit of a re-grease on this section here where it's a bit chunky, and I also want to clean the pinch roller, the audio heads, just that basic kind of stuff, because once again, I've gotten lucky. I'd like to think that I have pretty good taste in VCRs at this point. We don't have anything too crazy to worry about. So let me unplug this thing, okay? Let me unplug it and be safe, remove all of the cables from the unit, and I'm gonna move into a voiceover for this part. I like to always go over how to do a head cleaning on VCRs. If you're interested in this hobby, in this, you know, at this point, it really is like a niche hobby. If you're interested, you wanna make sure that you know how to clean your heads. It's important. It's something that every VCR owner should be doing, and there's some do's and some don'ts. So let's go into the voiceover as I service this beauty. I'm really excited. I think this might be, my Panasonic is my current daily driver, but I think this might be a second daily driver, you guys. Also, although I don't know the manufacturer date yet, I do see this right here, June 1999, so maybe this is a 1999er. Alrighty, let's do this. The first thing I need to do is eradicate this automatic head cleaner. My head is going to be in the way here, but I'm taking a tiny little thing of clippers. These are actually my rabbit's nail clippers. Oops. It's just the easiest way to get in there without causing a fuss. And what I'm also doing here is just kind of examining the tape path. I already watched a tape go in, but I do also look at the footage because I usually record it on my iPad as well of tape going in, just to make sure that I'm not accidentally snipping off something that is important. And here I go doing the thing. I then have to spend an embarrassingly long amount of time trying to get it out from under there because I have these really long, obnoxious fake nails and I didn't want to hit anything. So enjoy that. And here is the little demon. You can see that it definitely has been used. This VCR for sure has some hours on it. You can see that little black stuff that's developing. It only gets worse over time, and eventually it just ends up causing a lot of problems and not doing what it's intended to do. Now that we've removed the head cleaner, I am just taking a peek at the actual head itself. I've got some coffee filters and some chamois, which I showed you guys earlier. And the first thing I'm going to do is start attacking the pinch roller in the corner over there. I'm taking a chamois with some isopropyl alcohol, and I'm just giving it a quick base of cleaning. This is usually what I do if I don't have a pinch roller that has issues or needs to be replaced, but I ended up needing to do a little bit more with this one. Like, I just wasn't getting it to where I wanted it to be, which I'm gonna tell you guys out of a voiceover in a couple seconds. But besides that, I also went with the audio heads, the tape path, all that kind of stuff, the things that the tape is touching. I'm using a coffee filter with isopropyl to just get it all nice and cleaned up. Okay, so I'm just popping in here really quick to address the pinch roller. So I haven't really had issues with pinch rollers, except for one in an 80s VCR that I can't get to and I just kind of need to replace. But I was reading about this and kind of had a suspicion that the isopropyl alcohol actually doesn't really help that much. It kind of just makes it worse, and it just still kind of looks a little bit dry. So what I read, I think it's from Tapeheads, a forum which I trust, is a solution of dish soap and water. Some people say that they've been doing this for years, and I'm willing to see if it works. So I am just going to do that with my chamois, make sure that it's not too wet or anything like that. But I just wanted to pop in here and include that as an anecdote in case I forget when I'm doing the voiceover, since it seems like the isopropyl is actually going to dry out the rubber and make it worse. And now we're going in with that dish soap and water solution. It worked pretty well. I was kind of nervous at first just because it's something new that I haven't tried before, but I am reporting back positive results, at least for this particular roller. Now let's do the most important part, cleaning the heads. I have zoomed in a little bit for you guys so you can see. I'm going to soak a chamois in the isopropyl alcohol, and if you noticed earlier, I was kind of rotating the head a little bit, and that is because I was trying to make sure that I am rotating it in the same way that it spins. I don't think it's different for VCRs. I think they always spin this way, which I think is counterclockwise, but I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me there, but I am just very lightly, it's kind of hard to show in a video, but I'm not putting a lot of pressure at all. I mean, I'm putting enough to where, you know, it's actually going to hit the heads, but I'm not putting so much pressure. I'm definitely not scrubbing, not moving up and down, nothing like that. And you can see the dirt and debris that comes off, and I just flipped it over to the other side. Continued doing that until I felt satisfied. I am now taking another chamois to remove some of the nasty little gunky grease that was here. Like I said, this grease just looked like it needed some TLC, so I removed all of it, and then I am going to get my M coat out and put a new thing of grease on there so it looks nice and pretty. I did not end up messing with the mode switch or taking anything below apart. Something tells me that this one would be really, really easy to work on, and I've done it before. If you're interested, you can watch my Panasonic video. I just didn't want to mess with this too much. I am going to tell you guys later in this video that I think the belts, the lower belts on this are going bad because it doesn't like to take rewinding, but we're going to talk about that in a second. So yes, I know I didn't clean the mode switch. I didn't take that out, but I just didn't want to. Back to the Parent Trap.
There's a fire! Disney's action-packed classic, The Rescuers, coming to video January 5th, 1999. From Walt Disney Home Video comes the story of a young girl who found the courage to risk everything.
Nobody's Angel and Bob Khalil, plus hits from Natalie Cole, The Lovin' Spoonful.
Doing a fast forward here. Stop. Do a rewind. That is a nice soft rewind. And also at the top here on this TV, just a pretty cool display here. It's giving us the estimated rewind time, which is really cool. I'm assuming S, that's start, E, that's end, remaining time 2 minutes and 1 second. I don't really know what this part means, but for anybody concerned about, because I did a video on VCR rewinders, and admittedly it seemed to be a bit controversial and some people were really not into that. This is how slow this one is rewinding towards the end. Okay, so here's my update. I was able to do rewinding and fast forwarding in this video because I was doing it while the video was playing. So instead of hitting stop and doing a full rewind cycle, I was kind of just like skipping through on the screen. It does that just fine, but I won't be doing that any longer because, like I mentioned earlier, I think that this VCR is in need of a new belt. It refuses to rewind. It kind of like gets ready to rewind and then something stops it, and I think that's probably because there's not enough tension or something's like gonna snap. I don't know. I am going to order new belts to have it replaced, so that will be in a different video. I'm still comfortable using the VCR, although I definitely am always going to be thinking in the back of my mind that there's a chance that the tape could get eaten. So I'll be putting archived tapes inside this player, and definitely not something new or rare or exciting in this player until I know for sure that all of that is good to go. I don't really think that has anything to do with rewinding though, because you can just get a new belt and then you should be fine unless there's something wrong with the motor, which I really don't think is the case. Another thing that's interesting about this unit is the button setup. It's kind of weird that the stop button is here and the eject button is all the way down here. That is a little bit strange. Let's do some more playing with the actual TV part of the unit. Now there's not too much that we can do because I don't have the remote, unfortunately. And also this Memorex is kind of the absolute worst to record on. I definitely prefer using my Roxonic because it's a curved screen, and this one's a flat screen CRT, and sometimes it just like really hates picking up on camera. But I think you guys saw, I showed you the rewind thing, how cool that looked. Let's put the tape in again. Play. And do fast forward. I'd like to mute it too, ideally, so I don't get a copyright claim. Where is this friggin' remote? Alright, there it is. Mute. Alright, play. There's also a pause button right on the TV, which is cool. And there's the pause. Looks much better than the two-head VCR that actually comes with the the combo unit you guys are watching this on. Mighty Joe Young, whoever the heck that is. There's also recording stuff, but I can't really do too much with that. I also can't really do too much with the display either, although it does tell me where I am in the tape, which is cool. I'm sure you could actually program this to look a lot cooler display-wise. The last thing I'm gonna do here on this video before we close it out is play one of my favorite tapes that's in good condition, Animals of the Alaska Zoo. This is a really good test tape for me because I've archived it, and also I tend to use this on all my VCRs that I test because it's in really, like, the quality for this particular tape is really good.
What we do at the Alaska Zoo, we're face to face with animals like you. We come from everywhere, each one of us unique. The shy and the fragile, the mighty and the sleek. Some of us were born right here, some are just passing through. Come and hear our stories, we welcome you. Here's looking at you.
Face to face. Oh, that's a great,
Sure,
I love
it's
it.
fun to meet you.
Face to face.
We got a lot.
All right. I think that is a good place to stop it at one of my favorite little videos, Animals of the Alaska Zoo. Overall, I'm really excited to own this VCR. A lot of times, like the last couple of VCRs I've shown you guys, like, oh, now why did it do that? All right, well, besides that, I'm hoping that's nothing. Besides that weird thing that just happened, I'm really looking forward to owning this VCR. I think this is going to be a really good daily driver number 2 since I have my Panasonic in there. I can have this one in the living room, although I already have this VCR, and then I have my terrible Magnavox combo that I've been using for a DVD player because I need to get a single stand DVD player in here. But overall, this is an awesome VCR. I think it's good to kind of put your VCRs in rotation so they're not just kind of like sitting dormant and not being utilized. And yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel, Yasmin Collects. We do all sorts of fun, nostalgic things on this channel. And if you guys have any experience or information you'd like to share about Mitsubishi VCRs, I'd love to hear your experience. And I hope you guys have a fabulous day. Been trying to figure out a way to have all my VCRs fit. I bought a stand to put my TV on top of, like a riser, so I can put my VCRs underneath, but for now I've got them all screwed up here with this random stuff that I had in my closet. But hey, it works, and this Roku is really, really light, and the pressure is like very evenly distributed, and it's gonna be for literally 2 days till the other thing comes, so I just thought I should show you guys how funny this looks. And of course I had to pop back in here one more time to show you guys my little stand that is actually a normal functioning stand. I got it off Amazon. It was like dirt cheap, which is why I bought it. You can see it kind of bows in the middle because everything that you can buy in 2024 is literal garbage, but it hasn't moved and I'm pleased with it for 20 bucks. So yeah, that was a bonus clip. Now the video is over.